Hey everyone, in this video I want to talk about the Introduction to Logic course from Master Books. This has been a course that has been sitting in my wish list cart over on the Master Book website for some time. It is, I believe, a newer course that they have, but I was so thrilled when they reached out to me and asked if they could send me a copy of this for free to look at and check out, because I already wanted to purchase this to use in my homeschool. So I'm going to turn the camera around and give you a more in-depth look into the Introduction to Logic kind of workbook, textbook here, as well as the teacher's guide that it comes with, because I have had so many people, after I shared that I got this in the mail over on Instagram, I have had so many of you ask me about this and say, I want to know more about it because it looks so good. So before I turn the camera around and give you a more in-depth look inside, let me read from the back so you have a little bit better idea of what this course is all about. Here's what it says on the back. Logic is the study of principles of correct reasoning. That is its definition. To be logical is to think rightly and to draw reasonable conclusions from the available information. In the Christian worldview, we can answer these questions because we know that God determines the correct way to reason. He is the standard for all truth claims. In this book, you will learn about logic and the Christian worldview, the biblical basis for the laws of logic, if faith is contrary to reason, informal logical fallacies, and more. Now, I have already started working through this course myself. I haven't been writing in, on the worksheets. I'm saving that for another child. But I've already been working through this, and can I just tell you something? This is awesome because it's helping us to be able to defend our faith with logic and with right reasoning. I don't know about you, but I've had so many times when I have encountered people who are not believers and we are debating something, we are talking about something, and I answer their question and they throw another question back at me, and I am just like a deer in headlights, because I know that where they're coming from is wrong. I know the Bible has an answer, but their question, there's just something about their question that just leaves me kind of going, okay, I'm at a loss for words here. And so I'm learning from this course that a lot of times it's because what they're asking me, their response is not logical. And so to be able to understand all the different logical ways to reason and to think through things, and to be able to call out kind of fallacies, things that aren't true or not logical that other people are coming back with me at, is going to be so helpful for me. And I think it's going to be really helpful for our kids as well. So let's turn the camera around and take a closer look inside. So here's a closer look at the Introduction to Logic textbook and the Introduction to Logic teacher guide. I think I said earlier that this was a workbook, and it is not. It is just a textbook. You can reuse it with other students. You do not write in this. All of the worksheets are included in the teacher guide. So let's start by just looking at the Introduction to Logic book. One of the things that I noticed right away when I got this book and started opening it up is that it is very engaging. It does not look like a typical textbook. I thought it was just a fun, very inviting book to read. In the table of contents, you will see that there are 38 chapters. They also have a glossary, an informal fallacies at a glance, and quick reference guide. These last two things are just really helpful, like charts to help you better understand the informal fallacies, and then of course a quick reference guide. I'm not going to show you those just because of copyright issues, but they are really helpful. So let's go ahead and look at two different chapters just to give you an idea of what a chapter is like. We'll look at chapter 1 first. Obviously here is the first page is chapter 1. You'll notice that there are words that are in white little boxes. Those are going to be kind of like your vocabulary words. And I'll show you those in just a minute. So here's the next two pages of chapter 1, and then the last page. So here are those key terms that are highlighted in the white boxes here. So here is rational, and it is listed down here with the definition. Let's go ahead and flip to chapter 12 just to give you an idea of what another chapter looks like. Here is chapter 12. Again, this just doesn't look like a typical textbook. It's very fun and engaging. You have the key terms here in the white boxes, and then they throw in really colorful little diagrams and things to help you understand what they're talking about. So again, it is just a very inviting and engaging textbook. And again, it doesn't seem like a textbook at all. And then you have at the end your key terms. So that's just a quick look inside the actual textbook. Now let's go ahead and take a look at the teacher's guide. Let's go ahead and open it up to the table of contents and see what's inside this teacher's guide. There is a section for using this teacher guide to show you kind of how to use it. Course description, suggested daily schedule, worksheets, practice sheets, quizzes, final exam, and then an answer key to the worksheets, quizzes, and final exam. What I want to do is go ahead and look at the daily schedule and give you an idea of what a worksheet looks like. So there is a daily schedule for, as you can see, a 180-day course that is over, this is not 9 weeks, this is week 9 of the 4th quarter. It's divided into quarters, but it is a 180-day course. And as you can see, it is just broken up so nicely. I love how Masterbooks does their schedules. It just makes it so easy for us as homeschool moms and for our students to work independently. So here we have it broken up into weeks. We have it then each week broken up into 5 days, and it just very clearly tells the student exactly what they need to do. They're going to read chapter 1, which is logic in the Christian worldview. They're going to actually just read pages 5 and 6. And then on day 2, they'll read pages 7 and 8. On day 3, they're going to complete the worksheet, but only questions 1 through 5 of that worksheet. On day 4, they're going to finish up the worksheet doing questions 6 through 10. And on day 5, they're going to begin creating memorization cards and review those key terms. There's a place where, as moms, we could write the due date when we want our student to have these assignments completed, a place for them to check off when they have completed it, and a place for grades as well. So that's wonderful, especially using this for high school credit. We want to be able to easily keep track of grades, and it's just right in here for you. So I'll just give you a quick look here at the daily schedule, and then let's flip over to the first worksheet here. So here's that worksheet that we were just looking at, the schedule. And for that chapter 1, worksheet 1, there is a little chapter review in every single worksheet. Let me show you. There's a chapter review. Every single worksheet has a chapter review, which I love. Just helping the kids to remember the key points that they need to know from the chapter that they just read. Then they have questions. Remember, though, that you're only answering the first 5 questions in one day, and then you're going to answer the next 5 questions on another day. So that is not a lot of work at all. So I think you can see that this is not overwhelming in terms of the workload. The content of the course may be challenging. I mean, we are studying logic, so the content of the course may be challenging, but the workload should not be overwhelming. It's a very nice workload for our students, just enough to help them to really get a good grasp of logic and all the different components that they need to learn about it, but not too much that they're going to be stressed out and overwhelmed. So I'll just flip through here real quickly so you can get an idea of all of these worksheets are just set up the same way. Chapter review, and then some questions. And then, like it said here, let me go back to the table of contents, there are also practice sheets, quizzes, and final exams, as well as the answer key in the back of this book. So that's just a look inside the logic course from Masterbooks. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below and let me know if you've used this course, what you think of it. Let me know all that down in the comments as well.